Hey everybody, and welcome back to another severe storm film or weather forecast. In this forecast, we are going to be talking about bitter cold temperatures that are going to be coming to the United States in the coming weeks and days, as well as a winter storm, as well as the return of severe weather to go along with that. Let's get started by taking a look at our overall jet stream. Here you can see we have a pretty big warm up in the central United States that is very well noticeable in Texas, especially. We have a bit of a cold shot in the Northeast as well as the Pacific Northwest that is bringing some snow on those converging areas, as well as some rainfall over here in the east, mixing with snow at times, but overall not much snow. But as we head into the daytime hours tomorrow, notice how the jet stream becomes a bit more zonal, so we really won't have any big storm systems coming through, but we could see some snow showers across portions of the northern plains, could be a possibility as the trough begins to develop as we head into Monday, November 25th. Notice that trough right there. Not really a big one, but enough that could bring perhaps some snowfall across portions of Wisconsin, Michigan, maybe some rain showers and thunderstorms maybe for areas of the Ohio Valley and back into the southeast. Not really much severe weather expected with that, but as we head into the day on Tuesday, the 26th, there's our next storm digging down deep into the Pacific Northwest. You can see it right here, that little bit of a trough over there could bring some snowfall to areas of Oregon and southern Washington, as well as some rainfall for areas like California and Nevada. Heavy snowfall will be likely on the higher elevations of that. But notice as we head into Wednesday, November 27th, that we get a little bit of a zonal flow, at least for the subtropical jet. But look at this. The polar jet tries to meet up with the subtropical jet. That is going to create a storm system. And when that happens, models are a little there and out with this setup. But this latest one shows severe weather in the south and a snowstorm breaking out on the northern end. All right. If that solution is true, that would mean the storm track would be doing something like this. All right. So something in the way of this. So look at this as we head into the day on Thanksgiving, we get a jet streak here. We got the polar jet here, and we got the subtropical jet right there meeting up with that area, and that's where your low pressure system is. You're likely going to have a snow event on the northern end and possibly some more severe weather on the southern end, and as well as having rainfall in between. So flooding issues could be a concern as we head in towards that Thanksgiving time frame, especially for those traveling, which is going to be a little icky. But as we head into the day on Black Friday, we get a cold blast into the United States, and this is the beginning of a humongous weather pattern change. All right, so once that storm system is still producing some snow, maybe some rainfall for areas of the Northeast, as we head into the day on Black Friday, we are going to be dealing with bitter cold temperatures ushering into the United States very quickly here. And you can see next weekend that Arctic air mass is digging down deeply, like it's already into northern North Carolina as we head in towards Saturday. And then as we head into the first day of December, it's like the weather knows it's December all of a sudden. We get a really big cut down of cold air to really scream into the United States, where those lack of jet energy is. Anywhere north of this line, you're probably going to be bitter cold, I'd say, as we head in towards next weekend. So be prepared for that. It's going to come to shock if you don't hear about it. So listen closely and continue to monitor your weather apps for updates. And then as we head in towards December 2nd, notice how we get continued cold shot across portions of the eastern United States. And what will be interesting, if we're going to have to watch to see if we get a storm system to ride along this, because if this were to happen, my friends, this would cause a massive winter storm on the northern end of it and possibly some severe weather on the southern end of it with the big change of air masses. So that's definitely something I'm going to be keeping my eye on, but it's still a little far out, December 1st, so we are 9 days out from it, but things will change, but we are going to have to keep an eye on it. But as we head into December 3rd, we're likely going to stop at December 4th, but December 3rd, notice how this polar jet is meeting up with the subtropical jet again. This is likely going to cause another storm system somewhere in here. It's really unknown where that will be, but it lines up perfectly, and we could see a snow event across portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, if that were to unfold, and possibly some showers south of that, but it's still too early to say what will happen there. And then as we head into December 4th here, I'm going to say that things become super duper uncertain. However, the models show that the polar jet and the subtropical jet meet up in the Pacific Northwest. And as long as that is the case, we could be talking about a massive snowstorm, possibly even a blizzard for areas like Canada and areas of Montana and Idaho. But that is still a couple days out or a few days out. So be sure you continue monitoring your forecast updates. But beyond that, things become very uncertain. But the trend is that we get very cold temperatures, brutally cold temperatures at that, moving into the eastern United States as we head in towards December. And all right, my friends, that will take us into our precipitation trends across the United States, taking us into our Monday, November 25th here. As of this latest model, showing some showers and thunderstorms maybe across portions of the Ohio Valley and the Midwest. Snow breaking out across portions of the northern plains up into southern Canada as well. And then as we head into the day on Tuesday, not much severe weather to contend with Monday nor Tuesday. But look at the freezing line, guys. Like, it's far south. All right, like in Tuesday afternoon, November 26th, we could be talking temperatures not getting out of the 30s anywhere north of that line. So definitely something we're going to be keeping an eye on there. Rain and snow mix continuing for areas of the Northeast. And then we have another storm system that's going to be a big player in our Thanksgiving forecast here. And speaking of our Thanksgiving forecast, as we head into that day before Thanksgiving time frame, that storm system starts to move into the central United States. And remember, I showed you that jet stream, how it kind of dipped and then rose again with that storm track there. So it's pretty dynamic, and it's uncertain what track this will take. But as of the solution, shows snow breaking out in the northern end. That includes South Dakota, Nebraska, with some snow rain mix, perhaps in Kansas, Missouri, back down into portions of New Mexico. And we could have some strong thunderstorms breaking out in Texas, but the question is, does that warming layer in the atmosphere, aka the capping inversion, break? That will be a question we need to find out. But as we head into our Thanksgiving here, I'm going to go starting by early Thanksgiving morning, because it's a holiday. Notice that we have heavy snow breaking out across the northern part of this. Some of that is mixing with rain. You can see that on the lakes because those temperatures are well above average. But likewise, on the southern end, we could be talking about some strong to severe thunderstorms, as well as some heavy soaking rainfall. So definitely something I'm going to be keeping my eye on there, especially if you guys have to travel. But then as we take this in towards late morning on Thanksgiving Day, things become very uncertain again with like the snow placement. So don't say, oh, hey, it's going to be snowing in New York and northern PA at 10 a.m. on Thursday, November 28th, aka Thanksgiving. That might not be the case. The snow could be further south, like in Ohio, or it could be further north, and we could be dealing with the strong thunderstorms further north. So I mean, it's a dynamic storm system. However, the more likely scenario is that the low will definitely be south of the Great Lakes, because if that cold air blast is going to come out, it's obviously going to drag this low at least far south enough to produce heavy snow north of it. So we're going to have to watch that trend, but overall looking like a nasty Thanksgiving for a lot of people. Even if you're in the south, you could be dealing with, again, strong to severe thunderstorms. If you're in the middle, heavy rain on the north side, winter storms. So we have to keep watching, but again, things will change. So make sure you're keeping an eye on that, especially if you're traveling. But as we head into Black Friday, look what comes in behind this, folks. We get an Arctic blast behind that. All right, we're talking bitter cold temperatures by Black Friday, and that will kickstart the lakes across the Great Lakes as well as Lake Ontario. It will be windy. We will be dealing with blowing, drifting problems as we head into the day on Black Friday. Could see blizzard conditions breaking out across Buffalo, perhaps, if this solution is correct, but do not get your hopes up because, of course, things can change. Then as we head in towards Saturday, November 30th, the last day of November, woohoo, look at this. The cold air, the bitter cold, is even further south. All right, look at that. You're talking 30s as far south as central Georgia and southern South Carolina. Can you believe that? Imagine if you're here in Greenville, South Carolina, and it's 30 degrees and possibly snowing. That would be crazy. I don't see any snow on here. Of course, that can change, but look up here towards the north. Our lake effect is getting very much kicked up into portions of the Great Lakes region, and we have our own little system to deal with yet again across the northern plains, and that one could be a little bit of a robust one depending on how much snow falls from this. Even if this is not a robust system, which it might be, it's a 985 millibar low. We're going to have to watch this piece of energy in the next couple runs. But even if it's not dynamic, we are going to be dealing with blowing, drifting snow problems in this area. I'm just going to put it out there. Blowing, drifting snow will be a problem as if you live in those areas. But as we head beyond this time frame, it just shows this active cold pattern in the eastern United States like we were talking about before. And if any storm system is riding along that jet, we could be talking about snowstorms and whatnot. So we'll continue to keep it posted with the latest as we head closer to those time frames. And that, my friends, will take us to our temperature forecast for these next few days into next week. And starting with tomorrow, Sunday, November 24th. No, actually, it's pretty warm. Let's go to Monday, November 25th, all right? Cold air starting to come out of the northern plains. We could be talking about single digits, maybe even negatives, heaven forbid, in the higher elevations of Canada for high temperatures for the day on Monday. Still staying warm if you live in this area. That's why I have a feeling we'll see thunderstorms as far north as South Ohio, maybe even further north than that. Maybe a couple rumbles could mix in there. But as we head into Tuesday, November 26th, that freezing line starts to move southward. And at that point, we're talking about 20s and teens for high temperatures. Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. While over here, we're still dealing with mild temperatures, especially across the Great Lakes region. We're supposed to be well into the 30s, not 40s for that time of year. So just still a couple degrees above average there, but you could tell that things are starting to shift as we head in towards that Thanksgiving time frame. Here is Wednesday, and then here's Thanksgiving. All right, there's that storm system. And again, it will all depend on if we can get temperatures cold enough for snow. All right, again, that snow placement is very crucial, not only for accumulations and wind. Well, not really wind. There's going to be wind everywhere. But precipitation type as well as temperature is going to be very crucial to where sees snow and where doesn't, all right? Regardless, the cold air blast is coming behind this. Whatever you get, you're going to get cold air behind it, all right? Look at the temperatures as we head into Black Friday. Temperatures not getting out of the 20s in this entire circle region. All right, we might not get out of the low 30s and maybe even the 40s down here into portions of the southern United States. Crazy stuff for this time of year down there. I know it might not seem like it, especially if you live north, but down here for the south, that is very cold for this time of year. So just be aware of that. But as we head in towards next weekend, things start to significantly get cooler in terms of temperatures. Not cooler, colder in terms of temperatures. Look at these negative teens up here in the portions of Canada. Wind chills could be way lower than that. That's when you could be talking about your lake effect, blowing, drifting potential there, along with temperatures in the teens and 20s. Ew, across portions of the Midwest as well as the Great Lakes. And then as we head into December 1st, we get another cold shot, and it's even stronger than the last one. Look at these negative temperatures in portions of North Dakota. All right, we could be talking about wind chills well into the negatives with that wind, and we could be also talking about that snow potential we showed you there if a storm system's riding along at that time. But regardless, getting pretty cold as we head in towards December. You can see there By December 3rd, it starts to back up, but by December 7th and December 8th, it starts to come back in a big way. Now, do we see 20s as high temperatures as south as Georgia and northern Florida? That is to be determined. But I will say that this model is definitely hinting that there's going to be a more mild pattern in the west, and then, a more cold pattern and snowier pattern, perhaps, especially if you live near the lakes up here in the eastern and northern United States. So definitely need to keep an eye on that. But really not much further to talk to you about right now. So that will conclude this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not already. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.